Hello all, welcome to KnowHow Academy's live Power BI free training for 15 days. I am M. Asif Hussain. On behalf of KnowHow Academy, I welcome you all for this exclusive Power BI free training to KnowHow Academy. So here, if you just look into one of the important things is that whenever we are trying to learn some new technology, we have to be very sure what exactly we are going to talk about. So whenever I am talking about the technology, so there might be n number of technologies. There might be n number of technologies that we learn, but we have to make sure that what technology we are learning and is that completely applicable to us in a real-time scenario or not. So that is a very important thing that we have to focus it upon. So whenever I'm talking about a new technology, nowadays people have started learning advanced technologies. No one are looking it for C. Very rare people are looking for Java. But many of them are looking for the advanced trends. Many of them are looking for the advanced technologies such as cloud computing, such as data analysis, such as business analyst, such as AWS DevOps, such as data scientist. So these are the demanding technologies that we have as of now in the market. So out of all those, if you want to become a data engineer, if you want to become a data analyst, or if you want to become a business analyst, then my dear viewers, we have to learn a visualization tool which is very much important. So out of all those, we are learning Power BI now. So when I'm talking about Power BI, you might get confused what exactly is this Power BI. BI stands for business intelligence. BI stands for business intelligence. So when I am talking about the business intelligence, you are thinking something intelligently about the business. Am I right? Let us understand it in a very simple way. Let us understand it in a very easy way. So now what you have to consider here is that, my dear viewers, whenever I am talking about business intelligence, you are focusing about the client's business. You are talking about the client's business, your end user's business. So now business consists of a data. So whatever we are talking about the data, here data is playing a very important role. So that's what you have to understand. So we are going to work with the data. So now I would like to give you some information. So this Power BI exclusive free live training that we are going to learn till starting from today till 8th of March 2025, we will give you the data set so that you can also practice it for free. And apart from this, you will be going to learn the complete training hands-on practically with the real-time project oriented. So that will be very beneficial for you in order to learn and explore Power BI. So one more interesting thing that I would like to talk to you is that we are going to create a dashboard. We are going to prepare a report at the end of the day of this Power BI live training, which is very, very, very important. Okay. So my dear viewers, here when I'm talking something about Power BI, it is not a software. Power BI, it is not a programming language. It is a tool. Now when I'm talking about that this is a tool, now what kind of tool is Power BI? What kind of tool is Power BI? That we have to think about it. So when I'm talking that Power BI is a tool, what kind of tool it is? So in this particular aspect, let me give you a scenario. For example, in your home, when you are working on something, okay, in your home, when you are working on something, let us consider that you have a nail which is there inside your wall. Okay, you have a nail. Now you have to remove that nail out of the wall. It is very difficult for you to go and remove the nail with a hand. Am I right? So what are we going to do here? We are going to consider a tool. What is the tool? Either we consider a cutting plier or we can consider a screwdriver, whatever it might be. So now that is a tool in order to remove the nail. Am I right? So in the same way, Power BI is also a tool to prepare a report. So Power BI, it is a reporting tool. What exactly it is? It is a reporting tool. Every company consists of a project. Though you are working in a college, let us consider that you are working in a college. You have to understand the college ecosystem, college database. You have to understand how many classes are there, how many teachers are there, who are coming frequently, who are absent, who is getting the maximum salary. If you want to understand the complete structure, it is better that you use Power BI in order to make it in a visualized format. It's very simple. So Power BI is nothing but it is a tool. What tool? Reporting tool in order to understand the business perspective. So now this particular Power BI, it is launched by Microsoft. It's a Microsoft. So before Power BI, there might be n number of tools that we might have used in the market. Such as, let me give a very simple example. The most common tool people might have used before Power BI, it is Cognos, which is basically from IBM. Okay, so this particular Microsoft Power BI, it is launched in the year 2015. It is launched in the year 2015. So now if you just consider, let me just give you an overview. What are you going to learn in this exclusive 15 days? Okay, you are going to learn my Power BI desktop, how to use Power BI desktop, what are the uses of Power BI desktop, how we have to work on Power BI desktop. So you are going to learn all these things. So including that, we are going to learn Power Query Editor. Now what is Power Query Editor? The one where we go and clean the data, where we perform the data transformation. For example, whenever we are getting the data from the client, that data is 99.99% it is unclean. Okay, so we have to clean the data. Some data is missing, we have to find it out. With some data is having null values, some columns are not valid. So we have to clean all those things. That's where our Power Query Editor comes into the picture. Okay, so apart from this, we are even going to learn Power BI Service. So Power BI Service is something that we go and share the report or the dashboard with the end user. Power BI is something where we go and share the dashboard with the end user. So that's where we are going to learn Power BI. And my dear viewers, Power BI Service is such a kind of platform where we can go and integrate it with Microsoft Azure as well. So it's a cloud consisting way that we can consider it in Power BI. So now, apart from this, we are going to learn the DAX functions. The heart of Power BI is DAX functions. Okay, so what is DAX? DAX stands for Data Analysis Expression. So DAX functions. All right, so we are going to learn DAX functions. Now what are DAX functions? Let me give you a simple example. Now whatever the data you might be working in that data let's consider that some values are not there. Let us consider the client wants to see what is the total revenue. Now total revenue option is not there, total revenue column is not there in your particular data when you have received it. So now what we will do, using these DAX functions, we will go and calculate this total revenue. Okay, that's where DAX functions comes into the picture. We generally call that DAX functions is the heart of Power BI. Okay, and at the last, obviously the beautiful part of Power BI where we are going to learn the dashboards. Okay, so how to create the dashboard, how to prepare the dashboard, that we are going to learn from this one. And we all are going to learn this using a real-time project with a data set. And the data set will be provided to you in the description of the particular link that you are watching it right away. So where you can happily go and download the data set. All right. Now comes to the very interesting part. What are we going to learn today? Okay, so you have told that we are going to learn all these things in 15 days, but what are we going to learn today? We are going to learn what is Power BI, how to install the Power BI if you are not installed in your computers yet. Then we are even going to learn how to understanding Power BI interface, how to use it, what are the components that we have it in Power BI interface. All those things we are going to learn from this particular video, YouTube live training today. Alright, so now when I come to talk about Power BI is a business intelligence tool. What is it? it helps to create a report by analyzing the data. Very simple. Now let me show you one interesting thing. Now let's consider that you have a data. I request everyone to just go through this data and can you tell me which particular name? We have laptops, we have computers, we have mouse, then we even have some LAN cables data here. So out of all these, can you please tell me which particular category is having more sales? Which particular category is having more sales? Is laptop having more sales? Is computer having more sales? Is mouse having more sales? Or LAN cables are having more sales? Is it, can you please just answer it in a live chat box, which particular name is having or which particular category is having the highest sales? Laptops, computers, mouse or LAN cables? Okay, so now the reason for asking this question is that when we have some data which we can see it in the form of some rows and columns, it is very difficult to go and understand it as part of a data by going it and reading it in a row by row basis. It is very difficult. Why it is difficult? Now you might just directly answer it by just looking, because we have only some 15 sales, right? We can just go and read it. But how come when you have some sales in lakhs, you have some sales in thousands, it is very difficult. So now the conversion of this raw data into a pictorial format. Now just look into it. As soon as you look into this particular chart, in just less than 1 second, you can tell that computers are in high sales. Less than 1 second I'm talking about. You can tell that the particular computers are having high sales by looking at the visual. So understanding some data in a rows and columns is difficult, but understanding the same data in a pictorial format is very easy. Okay, so now let me ask you a very simple question. Okay, very simple question. You all might have watched Sholay movie. You all might have watched Bahubali movie. You all might have watched Bajrangi Bhaijaan. You all might have watched n number of movies, right? So now till today, if I ask you describe about the movie, you will be in a situation to explain me in a very clear way. The reason is that you have watched your movie in a visual representation. A human eye and a human brain can understand 100 times more when it is in a visual representation rather than in a data. So now if I would like to tell it to you, the same thing, if I would have shown you the script of Sholay movie, if I have given you the script of Bahubali movie, I told you to just read it. And now, if I ask you the same thing today, if you can explain, you will not be in a situation to explain, because it was very difficult for you when you are reading the script than watching it live. Okay, so that's where visualization plays a very important role, and Power BI plays a very key role in it. Now, sir, you are telling a report, you are telling a dashboard, what exactly it is and how does it look like? So this is a very interesting question. So if I just want to show it to you, if you can see that we are going to work on a sandwich sales data. So let's consider as how we have KFC, McD and all. Some XYZ company is having a sandwich business. Okay, they are giving the sandwich business. So now we are having the data of sandwich business, and we have to give them a report by telling them how much revenue they have got, how many total orders they have got, on which particular sandwich they are getting more sales, more profit, more revenue. So these are the things that we have to show it to the end user or the client. That's where we are going to prepare the report. The same report, the same dashboard that you are seeing now on the screen, at the end of the day of this particular Power BI free live training, we are going to prepare a report exactly similar to this, hands-on practically. Okay, do not worry, we are going to make a very beautiful report. The same report, we will go and publish it to the dashboard. So what is the difference between report and dashboard? If you have a doubt, do not worry, we will learn slowly, step by step. Okay, so when coming to the next point, if I just want to discuss the content, okay, so let us learn what is the importance of data visualization, what exactly is Power BI, why Power BI is required, what are the top 5 reasons we should opt for Power BI, don't we have some any other new tool, why only Power BI, when I talking about reporting tool, why only Power BI, don't we have the other reporting tools in the market? Yes, there are different tools, but why Power BI, that is very important. Okay, so how does Power BI works and how we have to install, all those things we are going to learn today. Alright, so when I'm talking about the visualization analysis, okay, so whatever as I told you, that human eye or the brain, okay, 90% it will be inside our brain if we look or understand something in a visual perspective, and the visuals are processed 60,000 times more faster in the brain rather than in a text format, rather than understanding it in a Word document or in a Excel based basis, right? So now coming to the point, 40 to 50% of the people, okay, so they respond better to the visuals when compared to the text. So this is very important. Now, in the same way, let me show you the business of a car. Can you please tell me, I'll give you time of just 1 minute. In 1 minute, can you please tell me which particular year is having the sales of car in high demand? Which particular year the cars are having the sales in high demand? 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 and 2021. Which particular year is having the highest sales of car? Can you please just reply to this question in the chat box, in the comment? Which particular year is having the highest sales? Is 2015 is having highest sales, 2016, 2019 is having the highest sales? Yes, perfect. 2019 is having the highest sales, it is correct, but how much time it took to you to understand it? How much time it took? Did you take only 1 minute? Did you take less than 1 minute? Or did you take more than 1 minute? Okay, now the same data, let me show it to you in a visual format, in the visual format. Just by looking in one go, you can tell that 72 number, which is consisting of 2019, is having the highest sales. The reason is that the higher the visual gap that you are seeing it, the pie chart, it is showing us that which is having the highest sales. So visual representation, this you have to understand. Now in the same way, I am going to show it to you one more data. Can you please tell me which month is having the highest sales and highest revenue? Which particular month is having the highest sales and the highest revenue? January month, February month, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November or December? Which month is having the highest sales and highest revenue? March month is having highest sales or highest revenue? Please be very clear. Please be very clear. It's very important, because if you see here, March month is having the sales of 1800. I accept it, but look at the revenue. March has the highest sales, but February has the highest revenue. Okay, so understanding this data is also taking time. Am I right? Now just let me show you this one. Now tell me, isn't it very easy to just go and understand which particular month is having the highest sales and which particular month is having the highest revenue? Yes, it is very easy. It is very easy because the line chart, it's showing us that which particular sales is having, which particular month is having the highest sales and highest revenue. Alright, so this is something about why visualization is important. In order to make you understand that visualization plays a very important role in understanding the data very easily, I have given you few examples which you have replied to my questions. I highly appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Now, let's learn the importance of visualization. So as I have shown you some information here, as you can see that it leads to the target audience to focus on the business. Okay, so now if I show you some data in a rows and columns, or if I show you some data in a Word document, it is very difficult for you to understand. But the same thing, if I show it to you in a visual, you try to focus there. Alright, so now let's look into this. You can convert the trends into business strategies. You can, though you have some millions and millions of records, though you have millions of data, though you have large amount of data, you can handle it in a pictorial format very easily. Okay, whatever the unnoticed key points are hidden inside the data, that you can showcase it in a visual, which plays a very important role to suggest to the client. See, my dear viewers, if you are a Power BI developer, okay, or if you are planning to be a Power BI developer, you are also dependent, you are also responsible to give some suggestions. To the client, telling that here you have to focus more, here you have profit, here you have loss, here you have to give some suggestions. That's where the unnoticed key points will come into the pictorial format. Okay, so you can help in decision making. So these are all the different importance of visualizations that you can consider. So now when I am talking about business intelligence, BI, so what all are involved here? Data warehousing, data governance, data integration, so data discovery and visualization, okay, mastering the data or the data quality management. So all these are involved in the part of business intelligence, where we go and combine the business analytics, we combine data mining, and we combine data visualization, all these in order to make some data driven decisions. In order to do some decisions, yes, the data should be there. So this data with BI helps you to give the effective and more accurate decisions. Okay, more accurate decisions. Alright, so now let's look into what exactly is Power BI. What exactly is Power BI? Power BI, yes, is a business intelligence tool. What are we going to do here? We are going to analyze the data, we are going to clean the data, we are going to visualize the data. Okay, analyzing the data. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. We all might have told multiple stories spontaneously in our day-to-day life. Am I right? Mainly if I talk to you about a childhood, so if you are late to school, so if your class teacher asks, why are you late? Madam, auto came late. Madam, my mom cooked food late. Madam, my bus was late. So you tell multiple stories. Am I right? Now, why should I talk to you only about school? Let me talk to you about the companies as well. If your manager, if your director, if your GM, VP, whoever they are, if they ask you why you have not done the project on time, you will tell the story. You have to accept it. You will tell the story. So the reason for this is that, why I have asked you this question? The reason is that you have to be a good data storyteller. You have to be a very good data storyteller. If you are understanding the data, if you are analyzing the data, you will be a good data storyteller. When you are a good data storyteller, you will be in a situation to predict everything very easily in the data when you are preparing a report. So that's where analyzing the data comes into the picture. Then cleaning the data, as I told you, if the data is not clean, if there are some mistakes, if there are some duplicates, if there are some null values, obviously you are going to clean this using Power Query Editor. Then we are going to visualize the data, where we are going to use multiple charts and so on. Alright. So now let's come into the next one, the components. What are the components? My dear viewer, this is very important. So we have something called as Power View, we have Power Query, we have Power Pivot, and we have Power BI service. Interview question. This is interview question. What are the components of Power BI? Okay, you can answer this. So now when I am talking about Power View, what is in the sense? View, to see, to look. So view is nothing but whatever the visualizations you are preparing, whatever the report you are preparing, whatever the charts you are preparing, the platform, that particular platform is called as Power View. It is called as Power View. Okay. So now just look into it. The next one is Power Query. The next one is Power Query. In Power Query, what are we going to do? We are going to clean the data. We are going to transform the data. Okay, so we are going to do all these things in Power Query. All these you will be learning practically hands-on in this live training. Do not worry, everything you will do it hands-on. Now, when I am talking about Power Pivot is nothing but modeling, organizing the data, making the data in a structured way. That's where Power Pivot comes into the picture. Okay, so now the next one is Power BI service, which is the end goal, where we are going to share the dashboard to the client. Do you know, in Power BI we can go and prepare the dashboard in a mobile layout also. Isn't it very interesting? So now let's consider, if you have Power BI in your mobile phone, if you have Power BI desktop application in your mobile phone, though you are an Apple user, though you are a Android user, if you have Power BI desktop in your mobile phone, whatever the dashboard you have prepared in your laptop, whatever the dashboard you have prepared in your computer, you can convert it or you can create it in a mobile layout also. Let me give you a simple example. For example, if your client is traveling somewhere in an airport, or he or she is traveling somewhere, so now they do not have this particular laptop, they do not have this particular computer before them, but they have the mobile application. If you can share the dashboard in a mobile layout, exactly similarly how you are seeing on the screen in your laptop, the client can also go and see the same dashboard in a mobile layout also. They can go and see the mobile layout also. Yes, they can go and interact with the dashboard. They can click on the visual. They can interact with the dashboard also. So all these things will come under Power BI service that we are going to learn in these 15 days of training. Okay, so that's very interesting. I hope components are very clear to you. Alright, so now let me give you this information as well. Okay, as I told you that you might have a question. Why only Power BI? Don't we have the other BI tools in the market? Yes, we have different types of tools in the market, starting from Tableau, which is the competitor for Power BI. We have Oracle, we have ClickView, we have Zoho Analytics, we have Domo, okay, we have Dundas BI. So there are different types of BI tools which are available in the market. But my dear viewers, Power BI, which is a Microsoft tool, it's demanding. It's standing top in the market. I'll tell you why. Okay. So let us understand first the history. Before understanding why Power BI is top, let's focus on the history of Power BI. Okay. It was launched in the year 2015. In the July month, on 24th of July, it's a Microsoft product, and there are many such companies who are using Power BI. And for your easy understanding, let me tell you, a very newly startup company till the top MNC companies, every single company is using Power BI nowadays. For your understanding, let me give you, there is no coding. There is no coding at all. No need of getting frightened. Do I have any coding in this? No. No coding at all. Okay. But you have to struggle on cleaning the data. But you have to focus more on exploring DAX functions. Okay. So that's where we call it as a heart of Power BI. Okay. If you are cleaning the data properly, if you are using the right DAX function for the right requirement, then you are the pro master in Power BI. Do not worry about it. Okay, so that's what Power BI is. And now the question is, what are the top 5 reasons why we have to opt for Power BI? The top 5 reasons are, yes, it has maximum features. We have 1200 plus DAX functions. We have 1200 plus DAX functions in Power BI, and there are 280 plus visuals, which we are not having it in any other BI tool. Though we have it, there is some other flaw in that. Okay. So now let's learn that one interesting thing that Power BI is standing top in the market, that is connecting with the data sources. Power BI can connect with 99 plus different data sources. Power BI can connect with 99 plus different data sources. If you have the data from SQL, Power BI can connect it from SQL. If you have the data from SharePoint, Power BI can connect the data from SharePoint. If you have the data from Power Apps, Power BI can connect to Power Apps. If you have the data from online, Power BI can connect it. So we have 99 plus different options where Power BI can connect the data with it. Okay, so now if you just look into the Gartner survey, so Gartner is a person where he does surveys of this particular analytics tools and all. So here if you see that Microsoft is standing top in the market when compared to all other BI tools. Microsoft stands top in the market, and the immediate competitor to Power BI, which is Microsoft product, the immediate competitor is Tableau. Okay, the immediate competitor for Power BI is Tableau. Okay, so I am not telling that Tableau is not good. I am not telling that we should not opt, but there are some advantages and disadvantages for everything. That also we will go and discuss it. Do not worry about it. Now when compared to the comparison, as I told you, for Power BI, Tableau is a competitor. For Tableau, Power BI is a competitor. Now, which is the best one? Okay, so let's understand the differences. So in Tableau, we have 24 default charts. But in Power BI, we have 30 plus default charts. So in order to use some custom visuals, in order to use some animated visuals, in order to use the visuals from the marketplace, we can just click, drag, drop, visual is done. So that kind of feasibility we have it in Power BI, where we have 250 plus charts from the marketplace. But in Power BI, we have 250 plus, but in Tableau, we have to write the lengthy codes in order to get the chart. Okay. In Tableau, we can connect to only 77 plus data sources, but in Power BI, we can connect to 99 plus different data sources. We can connect with 99 plus different data sources. And as I told you, that Power BI is so special that it can go and clean the data, which is an inbuilt feature. So which I told you that it is a Power Query. So when I am talking about Power Query editor. So this is because of this, Power BI is standing top, I can tell. Okay, because it's an inbuilt transformation tool where you can go and clean the data, but in Tableau we do not have this inbuilt. Okay, so we have to use some other platform, we have to clean the data there, come back, start working on visuals. So that's a little bit time taking process and hectic, right? So in Tableau we have 108 plus functions. As I told you in DAX, data analysis expression. But in Power BI, we have 1200 plus DAX functions. So do not worry if you are learning the new word called DAX. Let me give you a simple example. I know that you all are aware of Microsoft Excel. Am I right? You all are aware of Microsoft Excel. What happens in Microsoft Excel? We go and enter the records in a columns and rows. Apart from this, what do? We go and write some formulas also. What are the formulas? Sum, average, maximum, minimum, count, difference. So there are n number of formulas that we use in Microsoft Excel. Am I right? The same formulas, little bit advanced, we call it as a DAX function in Power BI. Very simple. It's very simple. Okay. So now let's understand the negative part of Power BI. Only one. That is, it has the storage of 100 TB only, but in Tableau we have unlimited storage. In Tableau, to use Tableau, it costs $70 US, but Power BI, it is $10 US. It is $10 US. Okay, when compared to Tableau, regarding the pricing, it is cheap. Okay, it is cheap. So now this is the important comparison between Tableau and Power BI. So how Power BI works? Let me explain it to you in a very easy step. We have Power BI desktop. We go and connect the data like from Excel, from SQL, from PDF, from web, from online. We connect the data to our Power BI desktop. We do a lot of transformations in between. Then we go and share that to the end user with the help of Power BI service. With the help of Power BI service. Okay. So this is something that I would like to explain it to you about Power BI. Now let's go and install Power BI in our computers. So just you can follow with me so that you can easily install Power BI. So for this, what I would like to do it is that please come back to the Microsoft Store. Please come back to the Microsoft Store. So in Microsoft Store, please go and search for Power BI desktop. Please go and search for Power BI desktop. So as soon as you find this Power BI desktop, this is the logo. As soon as you find this Power BI desktop, click on this Power BI desktop. Click on this Power BI desktop, and here you will have an option called Get. Here you will have an option called Get. So click on it. It will automatically install. So installing Power BI is free. It will not cost you. It will not cost you at all. So as soon as you search for Power BI desktop, this is the logo of Power BI desktop. Install Power BI desktop in your computers. It's very easy. It's free of cost. No need to pay a single rupee. It's free of cost. Okay. So now as soon as you have installed Power BI desktop, if you open your Power BI desktop, so this is the particular page that opens up as soon as you install your Power BI. As soon as you open your Power BI, you can see this particular platform. So this is Power BI desktop. So here what we are going to do is that we are going to understand the interface. So what all we have in it, what all we are going to do in it, so from where are we going to get the data. So all these things we are going to learn. All these things we are going to learn. So now what I'm going to do here is that let me tell you one simple thing. So as soon as you open Power BI desktop, it will ask you to sign in. It will ask you to sign in. Okay. No need to sign in at all. No need to sign at all. So why the sign in is required? In order to share the report to the end user, in order to work on Power BI service, in order to work on custom visual, we will be using Power BI license version, which is Pro version or Premium version. We have three types of licenses in Power BI. One we have free license, one we have Pro license, one we have Premium license. So Pro and Premier is required for different use cases that we will go and learn peacefully after a few days. Do not worry about it. So now, as of now, no need to sign in into your Power BI. Do not worry. So my dear viewers, let me tell it to you here. Whatever the visuals I told you, in the comparison to Tableau and Power BI, I told that Power BI is having 30 plus default charts. 30 plus default charts. So these 30 plus default charts are these, which you can see it here. All these are 30 plus default charts that you have it in your Power BI. So all these visuals, you can use it for free, either here or here. All these Power BI default charts, which are 30 plus, you can use it for free. So now this is a visualization pane. Okay. So now, for example, if you have got the data, from Excel, let's consider that your client has given you the data from Excel. If your client has given you the data from Excel, then directly you can click on Excel here. You can choose whatever the data you have, then you can directly get it into your Power BI desktop. Or if your data is from database, let us consider your client has given you the data from SQL Server, from SQL database. Then just click on this SQL, enter the server name, then you give the database name if it is known or available, then click on OK. So directly you can connect from SQL Server. So now let's consider your client has given you the data from Power Apps. Your client has given you the data from SharePoint. Your client has given you the data from AWS. Your client has given you the data from Microsoft Azure. Then from where you have to get all those things into your Power BI. So for this, if I would like to show it to you, click on Get Data. Click on Get Data. As soon as you click on Get Data, please click on the option called More. Please click on the option called More. So in this, if you see, these are the 99 plus different data sources where Power BI can get the data into. This is also one of the reasons. This is also one of the reasons why Power BI is demanding in the market, because connecting the data from 99 plus different data sources is not a joke. Okay, so though you have the data from GitHub, though you have the data from Spark, from Hadoop, from Azure, from AWS, from Microsoft Fabric, from online services, from Power Platform, yes, from anywhere you can get the data, you can connect the data into your Power BI desktop. Okay, so for example, my data is from CSV, I will select CSV. For example, if my data is from SharePoint, I will click on SharePoint and I can connect and get the data. Okay, now you have to understand one thing. Sir, you told that you can get the data 250 plus charts from marketplace. Where are they? Yes, as you can see that I have get more visuals option here. As soon as you click on get more visuals, you will get, whenever we are trying to install some app, we will get lot of apps in from Play Store and App Store. In the same way, we have lot of visuals similar to like this, okay, where we can perform the animations also. So we have all these 250 plus charts from the marketplace. All these also you can use it. But for this, we need to have a license, Pro or Premium, depending upon what kind of person we are in the company. So what project we are doing, a company will assign you the Pro license or a Premium license. Alright, so these are the charts from a custom visual. So now, as I told you, in the part of components, do you remember in the part of components I told that Power View is a place where we go and prepare a chart. View is a place where we go and prepare a report. This is Power View. The white space that you are seeing here, this is a Power View. This is Power View, where you are going to view, where you are going to work on reports, where you are going to create the visuals. So this is the Power View. Okay, so we also call it as a report view. Okay, so now whichever the data you are working in, whichever the data you have loaded into your Power BI desktop, that data you can see it here. That data you can see it here in table view. All right. So now when you have this data, you can see it here. All right. Now, as I told you that there are something called as modeling, where you have to connect to, for example, you have got some 6 tables into your Power BI. How many tables? You have got 6 tables into your Power BI. All these 6 tables should be interconnected with each other in order to prepare a report. For instance, if you want to get one column from one table, second column from 6th table, another column from 3rd table. So there should be some connectivity, there should be some relationship, some cardinality. So those things we are going to understand here in the model view. So every table should be connected with each other. So now another view, we have something called as a DAX view. As I told you, DAX functions. So whatever the DAX functions you have, if you want to run those DAX functions by writing it, you can write here in the DAX view. So this is also one of the interesting things that we have it here. So these are the different views. Okay. Now let me show you one more thing. As I told you that Power BI is having the capacity to inbuild, where it can clean the data, where it can do the data transformation. I told you that you have this feature which is inbuilt in Power BI. That is nothing but transform data. That is nothing but transform data. So let me show you one simple example by getting the data. The data which you and I will be working for the rest of 15 days, that data I will try to connect it. Okay. So I have the data in Excel. So now what I am going to do, I will click on this Excel. As soon as I click on this Excel, wherever the data I have it, that data I am going to see it here. So here I have this data. I will click on open. So it is getting connected. I have my Excel file that is getting connected. Okay. So now it will show you the data. As you can see this, please see this. We have the data. Very interesting data. It's very interesting data. All right. So this data we can see it here. Am I right? So now if you want to clean the data, then what we have to do? We have to go to transform data, which is nothing but data transformation. As soon as I click on this transform data, our Power Query editor will be opened up. I hope it is visible here on the top left. You can see Power Query editor. So Power Query editor is a place where it is helpful for us in order to show whether this particular data is clean or unclean. Okay, now you can see here sandwich ID is a column. It is 100% valid. No errors, no empty information. Okay, we can see like this. So every column is 100% valid. No errors, no empty information. So it is giving us the column quality. So once every column is clear, we don't have any errors, we don't have any missing information, then we are going to load the data into Power BI desktop. So what we are going to do, I am clicking on close and apply. As soon as I click on close and apply, we can see that this particular data is getting loaded into our Power BI desktop. What is going to do? It is getting connected, it is getting loaded where? Into our Power BI desktop. Alright, see this, the data is successfully loaded. So whatever the columns we have in our particular data, those columns we can see it here. Alright, as I told you, whatever the data you have loaded into your Power BI, we can see that. Am I right? So where can we see that? We can see it here. So the same Excel sheet that you have seen, the same thing you can see it here. This is a table view. What is it? It is called as a table view. See this, we have all the rows, we have all the columns in this particular table. Alright, so this is a table view. If you have another table, then if you want to give a connection, if automatically there is a similar column, then it will automatically get connected in the model view. If it is not there, we can go and create a relationship. Do not worry, that also we are going to learn in these 15 days of training. So my dear viewers, in this live training of day 1, we have learned the different important things about Power BI. We have seen what is Power BI, we have seen why Power BI is important, what are the top BI tools in the market, which is the competitor tool for Power BI, what is the difference between them. We have seen how to install Power BI, we have understood the interface of Power BI, we have learned even how to load the data into our Power BI desktop, and very importantly we have also learned the importance of visualizations in the present scenario and how that is going to become helpful for us. There are multiple opportunities for Power BI developer. Multiple jobs we have it for Power BI developer. So there are various things that you have to learn and explore in Power BI. Do not forget that every individually, whatever you are learning, every single step that you are learning here with our KnowHow Academy's Power BI live training, it will be surely helpful for us for your practical approach, for your career growth as well. So if you are learning Power BI as a fresher, obviously this will be a very interesting training. Or if you are a working professional as well, yes, something might be helpful to you as part of data transformation and tax functions as well. So everything will make it surely that it looks in a practical approach. Everything we are going to learn it in a interactive way. Okay, you will be getting the same data set that I have shown it to you. In this particular description, you will have the link for the dataset where you can happily go and download it and start working the same thing what we are going to learn in every day starting from today till last day, which is 8th March 2025. In this 15 days, we'll cover the maximum part of Power BI. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ping in our chat box so that we can reply to your questions. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy. Stay tuned. We are going to connect day 2 tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. We do not have classes only on Sunday, but we have classes every day starting from tomorrow till 8th March, excluding Sundays. Okay, excluding Sundays. But even on Saturdays, we are going to work. We are going to conduct the live training. We are going to learn everything practically, and we are going to have interesting sessions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for day 2.